And good morning and welcome to Tea and Conversation Live. This is our second season and I am so excited this morning to have on with me Mr. Albert Cooke. He's one of the candidates for Tampa City Council District 5 here in the great city of Tampa. We know that we have had a number of candidates on prior to him and we have several more to go. I want to jump right in this morning. How you doing, Mr. Albert Cooke?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic,
I'm, ex-
fantastic in the great
I'm
city.
excited to be here.
Yes, thank you so much. I know you will be glad when this race is at the finish line.
I have to tell you, it's been amazing. The speed, the knowledge, everything that's going on is really fast, and it's very exciting and exhilarating. So I'm excited to be in the race, and I'm excited to one day represent the district.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I want to jump right in here right quick. Let's roll this out. And what are the top three issues facing District 5 and how do you plan to address them once you become our city councilman?
Okay. I can just go. What I'll do is I'll just tackle each one at a time, if that's okay.
Yes, sir, that'll work.
Okay. The first one, of course, is economic growth. We need to bring responsible, community-minded businesses that provide high wages and great benefits to our community.
Mm-hmm.
We must also advertise the fact that we have a smart, strong, reliable workforce that's ready to go to work. We have to make sure that they know that we're available and that we can help their businesses grow. And of course, to continue to offer grants for free education and training. One of the ways that you can raise your wages is greater training and greater education. The next one, of course, is housing that we have to deal with all the time. That's always an issue here in any city. Actually, it's not just Tampa, it's any city right now. With Tampa's growth rate, we always have a shortage of housing. But when I become your D5 representative, we must continue to amend zoning ordinances and, of course, land use regulations and make those changes as quickly as we can, but we want them also to respect our neighborhoods. I live in VM Ybor, and I have a 110-year-old bungalow. So the last thing I'd want is this big monstrosity somewhere where I could, instead of looking at a beautiful home and trees, I'm looking at something totally different, commercialized.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to legalize more rental units. So we're going to have to motivate developers and, of course, make sure that they're offering low cost rents for our citizens who need housing, but not making the AMI or the medium income. One of the things that we never really talk about, and it was a big deal here in VM Ybor a couple of maybe a year ago, was auxiliary dwelling units. And what that is you can take your garage and convert it into a living space. And of course, you go ahead and rent it out. And right now, you have zoning to have that occur. Well, what I want to do on those ADUs is offer tax incentives or hold off taxes for 10 years or eliminate it. Because if you improve your garage and turn it into a living space, that's an improvement to the property, so it may raise your taxes. If we can cut that out of the picture, now we have somebody who has provided a living space for a family. Because if you create a 2-1, you can actually have a mother and her 2 kids in that unit, and it also creates an income stream for the owner. Personally, if it was me, I would go ahead and buy down my mortgage, or put it in for kids' colleges, make a savings account, those things, investments. So those are the kind of things that could help us improve affordable housing. Also, when we talk about apartments and multi-units, we have to talk about parking. That is an issue. But when we have all these parking regulations saying that if you have one unit, you have to have this many parking spaces, what happens is it creates a parking area where we could actually have housing. So we have to look at that as well and try to see if we can blend the two together. We also have to streamline the development process. Anything to get these properties up and available to our citizens, we have to start taking a hard look at streamlining the process. Consider non-traditional housing. And I'm throwing this out. This is my last one. I thought about this morning. Was tiny houses or container houses. Those you can put up very quick as well. A container house, you can expand it anywhere you want. So that might be a quicker way to offer housing, and we might be able to get 2 or 3 on one lot. Also, is public safety. This is a pet peeve of mine because I'm actually chairman of TPD's Chiefs Advisory Panel. So we meet actually with the chief, and he teaches us about the policies and procedures of the police. And a lot of times I can hear some other things that go on. So for instance, in my opinion, we have to hire a smart, trainable men and women who are logical and critical thinkers, so we can make sure that our growing population is properly policed. And also the Tampa Fire and Rescue. We must make sure that we're hiring the best people. We have to offer competitive salaries and a bonus structure so that we can get the best people. And because everybody's looking for a dollar now, this is how it works. And I don't blame them. I've done it before in my past as well, especially when I was a young man, and we need young folks. Is that if you're not competitive salary wise, you're not going to get the top quality people. Take advantage of, and one of the things that the TPD and TFR does is they get a lot of grants from the federal government. It's a little bit scary now because of what's going on in our federal government. They're cutting these very important programs that actually train and teach our police and fire in modern techniques. We have to continue to do this because modern techniques, especially with police, the reason I'm talking about police is because they carry a gun. They need proper training so they don't make mistakes and people lose their lives. So those are the 3 highest priorities. I hope as when I'm elected to be your representative, I'll dive into those immediately.
You touched a little bit on housing. So what will actually be some of the plans that you would want to roll out in reference to affordable housing in the district and in the city abroad? Definitely in East Tampa, brother. I am born and raised in East Tampa.
Yeah, I hear that a lot, and that's amazing. Because Tampa is a place where a lot of people come from different areas, but East Tampa seems to be a lot of folks staying home, which I think is cool.
Yes, a lot of people. My mother still lives in East Tampa. My daughter lives in East Tampa. My mother's sister lives in East Tampa.
Wow.
And if you live in East Tampa, no different than if you live in North Boulevard home area, people are proud of where they live. West Tampa, you're proud of where you live. Hyde Park, if you grew up in Hyde Park, you are proud of where you live. So that's why when you hear sometimes, people talking about East Tampa, and of course, Sulphur Springs area now, because when I was growing up, Sulphur Springs was not predominantly African American, period. So we are proud of East Tampa and want the best for East Tampa. So yes, absolutely.
It's funny that you mentioned Sulphur Springs. I actually had a meal with their president of their association. And we sat down and we talked about, of course, the pool. We talked about the boardwalk, all these things that have to be repaired. The city council has already authorized $1.8 million to evaluate and then repair the pool. They're working on getting the boardwalk, but he said something to me that was very interesting. He says, after that's done, what's next? And I looked at him and I said, wow. And he says, what we have to do is we have to start looking at the young men and women that we have in our neighborhood, who are healthy and young and able to work. We need to find a way of getting them to work so that they can in turn purchase homes, have generational wealth, start businesses, have a business legacy. So, I'm sorry, I'm drifting over here from my house.
Yeah, that's okay. Let's go back to the question right quick. That's okay. Thank you so much for that. I got kind of off there too, talking about East Tampa. So what is your plan to support affordable housing in the district?
Well, what happens is we need to create more and more affordable housing. That's the issue, and it's just not happening fast enough. So what we have to do is, like I said earlier, is we have to start streamlining the processes, and changing zones as soon as possible. So as individual situations come up in front of us, obviously we have to analyze it because, like I said, I don't want to put something I don't want to change a neighborhood when we don't have to. Some of these multi-units, we should keep them up by the main roads and, of course, closer to transportation. But we need to change the zoning as soon as possible, reduce parking requirements, and, of course, streamline the process. Also, we have to look at the CRA. I really like the idea of CRA. I think it's anytime you can devote that much money to quote unquote blight. I hate that word, but that's what they use to call it, blight. We should be able to, because we have a lot of properties. We need to start spinning those out to developers, and we need to start building and getting those properties up and available to folks at an affordable cost. If more than likely, if I'm elected, I would be chairman of the CRA, just like Gwen was. So maybe I can exert a certain amount of authority or work closer with management, Cedric, and then get things moving a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I was able to answer your question.
That's fine. How about homeless? You did say that you live in the Ybor City area. I know when we're in Ybor on the weekends,
Yes.
there's quite a bit of people that are walking, that are, I'm assuming that they're homeless. So
Mhm.
what do you plan to do in reference to the homeless population that we have in our community?
Well, I have a quick story about the homeless situation. I live at 21st in Nebraska, right where that Checkers is, and the Mount Sinai Church. I live one block south of there. And a few years back, we used to have up to 20 to 30 people hanging out on my corner, using drugs, prostitution, going to the public, going to the bathroom, like that was their home, blocking traffic. I used to want to turn down into my street, and they wouldn't move. I had to beat my horn. I'm like, look, you can't stand in the street. So I would sit on my porch. So one day I was sitting on my porch and having a cup of coffee, and I looked out, and there they were hanging out. I picked up my phone to call, and that's when I had an epiphany. I was like, they're not the problem. I'm the problem. So that's when I got involved with the neighborhood association. I was elected to the neighborhood association board. And actually, as a neighborhood association board member, I won the TPD Everyday Hero Award. That award is given to somebody who works with TPD and the neighborhood to create a better community. From there, I was appointed by the mayor to the Citizen Review Board. I was appointed to the Chiefs Advisory Panel by Chief Burkhaw, and I'm chairman of that panel. And I was also appointed by the chairman of City Council to the City Council Citizens Budget and Finance Advisory Committee. So the reason why I'm saying that is homelessness and other problems is one of the reasons why I got involved in city government as a citizen. So I'm already involved. I'm already looking at things, but let me tell you what I started. Um,
Okay.
Once I got onto the neighborhood association board, I brought the neighborhood associations together, TPD and TPD, homeless liaisons, Tampa Hope, Metropolitan Ministries. So there's a lot of homeless people in Nebraska. So what we did, and they were at that corner right there. So what we did, the first thing we did was Tampa Police Department actually arrested two dope dealers that were in the middle of that. I had no idea that, and that's actually where they congregate. It's around the dope dealer. So they arrested these guys and they were gone. And of course, some of the homeless left as well. But what happened was Tampa Hope, Metropolitan Ministries, TPD homeless liaisons, they came to the corner and everybody who needed help, they were given help. They didn't understand that there was resources out there for them. So now what's happening, it just started shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And now, obviously, we still have some homeless on the corner, but those people are permanent residents on the street. They had 10, 15, 20 years on the street. They don't care about resources. They don't want help. Those are the ones that are left here now. And I'm still working on a way to help them or motivate them to become part of society. That's the only way that you can clear up these things here. What's happening in DC and some other cities when they're actually arresting people and things like that, it just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. The ones that are still out there on the street that are close by your home, do you have relationships with them? Are these people that you're able to talk to? If they, in my mind, if they've been out there that long, I know there's a number of them that I see in Ybor that
Yes.
has been out there a long time that
Mhm.
I know their names
Wow.
and I talk with them when we're
Mhm.
there. So so do you chat with them? Do you say anything to them?
Yes, and what happens is at first it's adversarial because you don't want them at that corner. You don't want them in your neighborhood. And then what we did, we helped the ones that we could. So the ones that are left, I'm always respectful. I always treat people with dignity. As far as knowing their names, I'm not that friendly. But like I said, well, it happens now. I see two or three hanging out. I'm not calling the police anymore unless they start doing something that's against the law. Because what happens is we have these big oak trees on our corner. And it's
Mm-hmm.
it's 100 degrees out. So they come under the trees to get relief from the sun. I can't be mad at them. I mean, I would do the same thing too.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to be more empathetic to what their situation is because look, I grew up in a middle class family when I was younger. We had food in our refrigerator. My dad came home every night. That you know that atmosphere. And believe me, we had our problems too. There's no such thing as a perfect family. But I have to start understanding that not everybody grew up in that atmosphere, and there's a reason why these folks are on the street. And a lot of times it's mental illness, and they medicate with alcohol and drugs. So I if I do want to be friendly with them, but at the same time you have to be careful because you're dealing with somebody who is inebriated and mentally ill. You don't know what they might do, and the last thing I want to do is get hurt by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm trying to help.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for that answer.
Mhm.
If you're just joining me, I'm on this morning with Albert Cooke. He's a candidate for Tampa City Council District 5. And if you would like to tag a couple of your friends, share the live out to others so that you can be informed definitely about this candidate here, Mr. Albert Cooke, running for City Council District 5. On this question right here is real dear to my heart, and I want to plug in the word black in this um, question. Is how would you support small black owned businesses in the district?
Can I say something real quick? You're the first
Absolutely.
person and this is awesome, that brought up homelessness. And I just
Mm,
can't understand why people aren't bringing it up more often because in East Tampa, even in on 7th Avenue in Ybor City, I just saw a lady. She was walking up and down, and she took out a cup from the trash can and started drinking from it. And there's tourists
Mhm,
right there, and there's
mhm,
regular
mhm,
locals that are
mhm,
there. So I'm
mhm.
glad that you
Yeah,
brought that up, and thank you very much.
yeah.
But
I think I know the lady. I think I know the lady that you're talking about. She doesn't wear any shoes.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And she was actually wearing revealing clothing as well.
Mhm.
So um, maybe we can get some people down there to help her. Do you know if she's been on the street for 20 years, 10 years?
I'm not.
Is she
I'm not sure how. Yeah, I'm
okay?
not sure how long. But how would you support
Mhm.
in our community, East Tampa community, in the city, uh, Black-owned businesses?
Of course, I would. I'm a black-owned business myself in the city. I've been in business for 22 years. I started my business with a credit card and a dream, so I understand um, the roadblocks as a small black business. But I always say that you have to be intentional when you make purchases or purchase services. And what I mean by that is I'll give you a perfect example. The other day, I needed an electrician. I wanted to add outlets to my home on the exterior. And I know electricians from outside my community, but I was intentional and conscious of what I was doing. So I actually found this young lady, African American. She has a small electrical company, and she came out and did a fine job. And I paid her, but we have to be intentional. So what I'm saying is we have to support our businesses as well. We need to continue to provide grants to expand businesses. We need to provide grants that improve businesses, their facade or their front to make them friendly, and so people can actually stop and come in. I'm actually a co-chairman of the newly formed Nebraska Avenue Business Association. And what we've been doing is we've been going up and down Nebraska Avenue, recruiting businesses and actually talking to business owners. Um, uh, what we're finding out is uh, we have so much traffic moving through our neighborhood, but nobody's stopping because we have all these obstacles. We have things like the homelessness. People don't want to go there. Trash, those kind of things. But as far as Black folks are concerned, I'm always open-minded to helping them. I would like to get together with a group of small Black-owned businesses and talk about their issues and try to find out if we can help them directly. Um, I always want to help move things forward as quickly as possible because as a businessman, sometimes the quicker you can change something, the quicker you can increase your income and increase your living style. So I would definitely do that as well.
Thank you so much for that answer. I'm on this morning with Albert Cooke. He's a candidate for Tampa City Council District 5. Albert, what is your vision for improving public transportation? Again, I'm born and raised in the city of Tampa. No matter where I go in the city, it's going to be 20 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour in the city of Tampa. We're not talking about out in the county. I mean,
Right.
that's a whole nother subject. But
Yes.
right in the city, going from Hillsborough in 40th Street over to Swan and Del Mabry takes almost an
Mhm.
hour.
Wow. I've been in my home for 23 years, and one of the reasons why I bought my home was it's in central Tampa. I mean, I used to be able
Mm-hmm.
to get anywhere in 10 to 15 minutes. It was amazing. And then over time, things slowed down. I'm not at the drastic end like you are, but I'm getting there. It's not 10, 15 minutes any place anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But and that, of course, that comes from our growth, which is great. But our highways um, have not kept up with the growth as well. But at the same time, we're running into the situation where if we can continue to expand highways wider, now we're cutting into the neighborhoods and doing the same thing that was done to us back in 1970, whatever. with urban renewal. So we don't want to destroy any more homes. We don't want to change our neighborhoods. We want to keep them um, intact. Look, I love my neighborhood. Like all our houses on my block are 100 years old, and it has a certain
Mm-hmm.
feel, and everybody's very neighborly and friendly. But what we could do is we have to go ahead and see if we can improve our public transportation system.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotta change. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue with free fares, not only on uh, Route 1, but any other major thoroughfare. We also have to do there's something that, of course, keep the trolleys free as well, because remember, this is District 5, so we're not, I mean, East Tampa is a big portion of what we're doing, but don't forget it's an eclectic district. So we have people from everywhere and all incomes, and we have to try to help everybody. But when I was in Boston and a young man working in downtown Boston, I rode the trolley. That was the MBTA. That was the trolley in Boston. Going in. So when I was going into the city, it was free. When I came out, it was paid. But what my bank that I was working for, what they did was they purchased subsidized trolley passes. So the city would give them, let's say, 100 passes. My bank would take the money out for the pass, but it was at half price. So I would get the pass on my desk on the first day of every month at half the cost. And what that did was it changed how I moved about the city, because now I had a pass. I can go anywhere. So I want to see subsidized passes, build more hubs and shelters close to large buildings and living areas, and actually create, when we're looking at creating housing, we need to also look at creating transportation at the same time. Can those folks come out of that building, walk an eighth of a mile to a train station, a bus station, and take the bus to wherever they need to go? Look, nobody wants to walk around in Florida, it's 95 degrees out, and then have to go to work. You're sweating. But if you can walk an eighth of a mile under a tree-covered street, get on that bus and take it downtown. So that's one less car on the highway. Of course, we have to expand the bus and the trolley systems as well. Right now, they're expanding the trolley system. I believe that's over in West Tampa. I can see it in my mind. I can see the map, but they're expanding it there. We need to have it expand out to East Tampa more and back into the neighborhoods, and let us take advantage of the free fares, and also use that trolley to take us up to work wherever we're working. But we have to get off the roads, and the only way to do that is public transportation and making it accessible to all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for that answer. And how would you invest in programs for youth, especially the underserved community? And before you answer that, I do know that over the several years, every single summer, it seems like every single summer, the children are just not getting the jobs. We do have the summer programs, but getting the information out, getting the message out that those jobs are there and available for them. So how would you invest in programs for youth, especially in the underserved communities in our neighborhoods? And I have to say that, born and raised again in East Tampa, we know that will be East Tampa, Grant Park, Oak Park, Sulphur Springs, all of those neighborhoods.
You don't have to apologize to me for looking after East Tampa. I live in East Tampa, so of course I'm always concerned about what's happening here. One of the things, and I've always been a proponent of vocational schools and trades. This is a good way that you can get a good job at a good wage and benefits. But what I want to do is at these vocational schools is to institute summertime paid internships. So we can get a 15-year-old working in whatever trade he wants to do. And I'll tell you one that people forget about all the time is a mechanic. Candy, we need mechanics every day. That's a job. That job is as popular as a nurse or a doctor because you need a mechanic. But let me get back to, I digress. So, um, so we can have paid internships for the students, and we can get this done. So what we can do is, we're not going to look for them making $30 an hour. It's a summertime internship so they can get experience. So if they do 2 summers and then they go into an apprentice program, they'll have an advantage and they'll be forward so that when they get to uh, the next program, the apprentice program, they can move through that quicker and move on to become a licensed a professional or tradesman. And one of the things I always say about when you have a license to do anything, that's a license to start your own business. So
Absolutely.
if you're an electrician, if you're a plumber, HVAC, pipe fitter, mechanic, remember ASE mechanic, you can actually start your own business. So now when you have your own business, you can make 60 to 80 to 100. It's up to you, whatever you want. If you put the effort in and you can generate that. But the reason why I'm saying that is when you have a skilled trade and you start a business, you have now created a business legacy for your children. So when they come up, they can take over the electrical company that you created, and they can learn the trade, and it can be passed
Mm-hmm.
down. And then from there, when you're making great money, you can purchase a house, you can purchase rental properties, you can save money for college. So you can actually create those things on your own. And I know, Candy, because I've done it myself. I actually created a 401k for my company. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, and
Wow.
that's how you move toward. Yeah, that's how you move towards retirement. Roth IRA. This all comes from the income that I'm generating, and of course, what it does as well is it reduces your taxable income. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all these things are available. So, one other thing is the jobs that are available, and the young people aren't finding them. And look, when you're a young person and you don't have any money, the likelihood you're going to get in trouble is very high. You're going to do something stupid. So what we have to do is we have to get the word out to the neighborhood associations. We can use them. We can get the word out to our churches. We have to get
Mm-hmm.
our word out to any community center. And also, we can use parks and recreation to help us get the word out, to make sure
Mm-hmm.
these students know that we're willing to support them. But I'm telling you, we need to get our kids in those vocational and trade schools, get them trained, bring them through the internship program, getting them into an apprenticeship, and then out into the field, and then into their own business. One of the ways that we can do this as well is I just found out that, of course, our great state legislature has said that the cities can't hold developers and make sure that they have apprenticeship programs, which is unbelievable. I just can't understand what's the thinking other than taking the side of the developer, but that's a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
What we can do is we can go around that as well. What we can do is we can go to the chambers of commerce. When you go to the chambers of commerce, they have electricians, they have plumbers. And what I want to do is create my own apprentice program that we can take and apply it to any business out there, saying, okay, this is what you get, and this is what this person gets back, and then work from there. But we really need to get the word out. There's plenty of folks that have jobs. And also, don't forget, I'm on the National Nebraska Avenue Business Association. As I'm going down the street, I would love to be able to tell them about opportunities for young folks.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can get jobs right there.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much for that answer. And one
You're
of the
welcome.
things you did say, is we need trades, and I've been saying it
Yes.
forever. One of our former school board members, Tammy Schamberger, really advocated for trade at Irwin, and
Yes.
studies all show that the majority of young people, children, coming out of high school, do not go to college. Do not go to college.
Mhm.
So if they're not going to college, why not have those job ready programs for them?
Yes.
Job ready programs, of course, we all say that when we were growing up, all the programs that was there. I got my first start with the CETA program. You had the on the job training program, all those
Nice.
programs. And we We need those. And if we have those, we need more children involved.
Exactly. Well, that's communication and having guys like myself, because I was a self-starter with my business. So, in my business is inspection. So I'm involved with the construction industry. But
Mm-hmm.
we have to have the small business owners leave their business for a few hours a week and go into the community and talk to young people and say, "Hey, look at me,
Yes.
Candy. I haven't had a boss in 22 years."
Yeah. Yeah.
When I tell people who work in corporate America that I don't have a boss for 22 years, they're stunned. They can't comprehend not having
Mm-hmm.
somebody above them who is actually creating their income structure. As an
Mm-hmm.
independent business person, you create your own income structure because it's about what kind of effort that you put in. I was fortunate. I was able to get out, and I'm pretty persistent. And
Mm-hmm.
to get out and meet some realtors and brokers
Mm-hmm.
who have used my business. And even today, I'm trying to grow that business. I want more and more. Look, there's a lot of Black realtors out there. There's a lot of Black brokers out there. I'm trying to get their business as well. It just hurts my heart when I talk to somebody and they say they have, I have an inspector. And then I ask them, well, what does he look like? And they tell me, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
And in some
Yeah.
cases, I know that guy, and there's no way they're like 5 years in, 6 years in. I'm 22 years in. See, this is what I'm talking about when I spoke about earlier. You have to be intentional in when you're hiring and who you're working with, because I always say about realtors, a realtor is a general contractor in the real estate industry. Because don't forget, they need to have a plumber, they need an electrician, they need an HVAC, they need a handyman is huge. Handy
Mm-hmm.
folks, handyman business is huge. How many ladies out there need a fan put in? How many ladies out there need some of these small repairs? Not only ladies, guys too, because look, I don't have time for things, and I can do all that stuff. I actually installed my water heater with my neighbor. We put it in.
Mm-hmm.
It was my first one. I saved myself, I think, $800 by picking it up and putting it in myself. But we need those kind of trades as well, and they can lead to business ownership. And I think, Candy, this is what I always tell people. Look, I get what you started in corporate America. But what I did, I was working in sales for tobacco companies, and they had one of the best sales training programs. And one day I woke up and I said, damn, I'm a salesman. I can sell stuff. And I said, well, why am I selling their product when I can sell me? And that's when I started my own business. And this is
Mm-hmm.
the conversation we must have with our young folks so that they understand that it's possible. And one last thing, most businesses in America are sole proprietors. You don't have to have 50 employees to have a successful business. You can have a successful business on your own, have a couple people working for you, and still have great success, because don't forget, now you write your own check. You create
Mm-hmm.
how much money you make, which is very important, and we need our young people to understand.
With that being said, with that being said, Albert Cooke, he's a candidate for Tampa City Council, and he, excuse me, he has given us lots of information this morning. Albert Cooke, why are you the right person to
I knew you.
represent?
I knew you were going to get there, Candy. I knew you were going to get
Yes,
there.
yes.
Um, um,
Why are you, Albert Cooke, the right person to represent us in District
well,
5?
what I always say is one thing. First of all, I'm already involved as a citizen in city government. Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I was on the Citizens Review Board, which looks at the police. Of course, I'm on the Chiefs Advisory Panel, which is where actually he's teaching us how police are being trained. Um, and also the Budget and Finance Committee for City
Mm-hmm.
Council. It's amazing where we spend money. Uh, and the cool thing about being on that panel or on that committee is it's not just reading the budget, but you actually every month we have two city accountants, two city attorneys, and I think the board is made up of five attorneys and two businessmen, including myself. and then Stephanie Pointer.
Hmm.
So when I'm in that room, and if you don't understand something, you get immediate attention, and they tell you in layman's terms what it actually means. So it was really helpful to me. So I can take all these lessons that I've learned and apply it to the job. But one of the
Hmm.
huge things I want to bring is my business sense of being a self-starter, being self-motivated, a problem solver. Time management is huge in this position. It's huge because think
Hmm.
about it. Look, first of all, I just want to tell everybody I'm up at 5 in the morning. That I get up. That's what I do. When I start my day, it's dark. Just like this morning, it was dark. I ate breakfast already. I have laundry going. I have all this stuff going already. And then, of course, at night, I'm not up to 10 o'clock at night. Usually I get in bed by 9 or something like that. But you need to have somebody who has time management skills and tireless energy to represent
Hmm.
our district. Also, leadership skills, which I've proven as well. Actually, my slogan is leadership in action because I'm actually doing some of the things that we talk about and gaining that knowledge as well. But I also want to let everybody know that when I am your city council person, I'm going to have an open door policy. You can call me. I plan to be on the road a lot. So right now with my company, my pickup is actually my office. So if you call and I pick up, I'm more than likely going to be on the move. I may be able to get to you right away and help you. But the most important thing is that we respond to your needs and make
Hmm.
sure that we get back to you. As follow up is huge. Again, as a business person, follow up
Hmm.
is everything, and we're going to make sure that we get back to you with who you're supposed to call, or maybe we can help you directly. But
Hmm.
I'm the man for this job, and I am leadership in action, and I'll do whatever it takes to make sure that D5 is properly represented. And we're going to turn this thing around as soon as we can.
Thank you so much. I was looking at the chat. Excuse me. There's a number of questions in the chat, and I wanted to try and take one of those questions.
Sure. That's great
And
that
it
people
is
are
from,
responding to what I'm saying.
yeah, you have quite a bit. Dave Coleman, he mentioned something about handymen and trying to make it easier for them to get a license. Yeah, make handyman license easier to get. We know
Um,
we see handymans all over the city. I always had a handyman for things that
mhm,
if I could not do it myself,
yeah.
I had a handyman. So let's address that one, and then you can give any closing remarks that you may have.
That's an excellent question. A handyman, even though he's in high demand, he has to have um, plumbing skills, electric skills, roofing skills. If he is a complete handyman, some handyman I know they don't do electric and plumbing, and I'm like,
Hmm.
well, if you can't change out a breaker, right? When a breaker doesn't work, or a
Hmm.
breaker doesn't, I don't know if you guys know, when you have a breaker, it has an AFCI, GFCI, you press the button. If you press the button and it doesn't shut off the breaker, that means that breaker is no good. It's a very simple repair. I mean, but I wouldn't recommend a non-professional opening up your panel, taking off that cover and sticking your hand in there, Candy, because your hair is going to get a blowout if you don't know what you're doing. So we do need skilled people. But if you're going to be a handyman, we have to make sure that you have the proper training so that you can maximize the amount of jobs that you do. We don't want you just going in and just putting in a ceiling fan. We want you to be able to put in a water heater if you can, to pull a permit and do the work. A lot of work that we do, you can actually, the homeowner can pull permits. So you can have work with the homeowner, get them to pull the permit and install a water heater. And instead of charging what a plumber does, you charge a little bit less, but you're getting the job. And believe me, you can make a lot of money put a water heater in. But As far as getting the job and making it easier, I have to take a real close look at it, folks, because I haven't. I do work with handymen, but I haven't looked at the qualifications. So if that was an issue, and after I become your city council person, when you see me, come talk to me or shoot me an email or give me a call, and I'll go ahead and research it, because that profession is one of the ones that we are not involved in enough, because everybody needs one. And every realtor that you know needs a good handyman for those little jobs so that they can get that house sold. Thanks for the
Absolutely.
question, young man.
Yes, thank you so much, Dave Coleman from the floor. A comment. I want to say thank you so much, Albert, for joining me this morning. I don't know if you have any final comments that you would like to make. If you do, you can do so as of now.
Okay, well, the previous question, I kind of closed out there. And I appreciate you taking one of the questions from chat. But I just want to make sure that everybody knows that I'm a sincere leader. I can be trusted, which is huge. Anytime you have a relationship, whether it's father, son, inspector, realtor, brother, sister, any relation that you have is based on trust. So you have to have that tight relationship with your district representative. And I'm one of those guys. If I tell you I'm going to do it, it'll get done. If I tell you I'm going to look into it, I'm going to look into it. I'm going to also hire the best LA or legislative aid I can find, because we're going to work together as a team to make sure that everybody who has a question, everybody who talks to us, everybody who wants proper representation from their representative, we're going to be able to take care of that for you. So vote Albert Cooke. I'm the man for the job. And Candy, I want to thank you today. This was absolutely amazing. You're an amazing host. And this is the forum that is really what gets to the people, because we have more than 1 minute to answer a question. So thanks again.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Dave. I got Dave asking another question. Thank you
Sure.
so much, Albert,
Yes.
for joining me this morning on Tea and Conversation Live. Also, you're welcome to join us this Saturday at Tea and Conversation at Al's Finger Licking Good Soul Food,
I saw
2302
that.
East.
Yes.
Yes,
I
you're
have to
welcome
check
to
my
join us.
schedule. I have to check my schedule because it is crazy right now. But I did see you have the tea and conversation at Al's Finger Licking. Hey, I'm going to definitely check it out. Let me write that down.
Yes, yes, absolutely. It's every second and fourth Saturday, and all
Okay.
are welcome to join us on this Saturday, Tea and Conversation Live. Again, I have on with me Albert Cooke, candidate for Tampa City Council, and we had a wonderful conversation this morning. And if you would like any more information from Mr. Albert Cooke, you can find him on all of his social media platforms as well. I'm not sure if you want to give out a cell phone number at this time, or if you have a website, if you would like to give that out at this time.
Yes, I have a website. Right now, my website designer, there was some kind of flaw
Okay.
in setting up the website, but I can give you the website, and hopefully we'll get it done today. It's albertcookforcitycouncil.com. You can
Gotcha.
also make donations and contributions, folks. Look, if you believe in what I'm saying, and if you believe in me, give what you can, so I can use those funds to become your city council person. And you can do that on the website as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you so much. And you're welcome, Albert, to go back to the chat and answer some of those questions, because it looked like we
Okay.
have about 10, 15 questions. So you're welcome to do that as well. And again, I
Okay.
want to say thank you so much for joining me this morning, Tea and Conversation Live. And stay tuned for the next candidate on Tea and Conversation Live. Have a great morning.
Take care. Thank you.
Mhm.